Warning, this content is for entertainment and educational purposes only. This video is brought to you by First Detachment Nutrition. Battle tested, expert formulated. Use discount code AB10 at checkout for 10% off. All right, folks, what's going on? Another Saturday. It's Memorial Day weekend, so I don't know what the crowd's going to be like. It may just be Amy and I this weekend talking about bikini division.
That's all right. I can carry that conversation. That's my field of expertise.
Just a reminder before we start that the live stream also gets uploaded to Spotify. I usually have it up on Sundays the day after, so don't drive your car into a tree. Watching YouTube in your car, you can listen to us on Spotify. And also, we have the Science of Anabolics and PEDs e-course up on the Anabolic Bodybuilding site for sale. Just put 4 more videos up, almost 3 hours of content on that this week. And Kurt and I are going to be doing a weekly members-only live monthly members-only live Q&A where you can ask whatever you want. We may not answer, but you can ask. So what's going on with you, Amy? You just started prep, right?
Yes, today is officially day 1 of prep. So
day 1.
Day 1. Yep. My show is in 16 weeks exactly, or 15 weeks and 6 days. So I'll be doing the Klash up in Wyoming. I'm pretty sure it's an all women show, which I've never done before. I think the Klash shows are women, like Girl Power. They're all these women's series. So it is.
That's awesome.
I think it's the first year they're doing it in Wyoming.
That's awesome. I don't know of any all women shows around here, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's the really cool thing about it is if you win, they actually do have prizes for the masters category, even in amateur, which is so unusual. I mean, there's usually nothing, but they will actually, if I win the 35 over bikini category, they actually pay for your entry into the Olympia amateur.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. The last local show I did, they had an over 45, over 40, over 50, and over 35, and I was the only guy in the over 45 in the over 40, so they were like, do you want to do the open in the over 35? So I'm like, all right, why not? Let's do it.
How many men are usually in your categories?
Chase? At a local show, there's not many masters competitors in bodybuilding. They're really, I mean, if you go in and you're over 40 and there's, 3, 4 guys, that's usually about all it is. But man, at my national show last year, there were like 50 dudes.
Wow.
So yeah, there were a lot. And then Masters Nationals, I went there last year. I had a client competing in Masters Nationals. I have a couple people competing, and I'm competing myself, so that'll be interesting. But I think they had over 1,000 competitors over the 5-day thing last year in Masters Nationals, and there were over 300 bodybuilders. It was crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, how did they time? I mean, so they do it over 3 days. You said your show's on a Thursday?
5 days. It's 5 days.
5 days.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so they have the different classic physique will be on a day on its own, and I think they do classic men's physique, bodybuilding, then they have 2 of the women's divisions broken out into their own days. But yeah, I mean, last year, my client that I had, he was in the over 60. There were like 50 dudes in the over 60.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
It's wild. Yeah, I got to my show last year, and I was shocked at how many people were there, because usually there's not many masters. There's not many people left that compete in bodybuilding, period, anymore. It's really weird. Everybody's a men's on the men's side. It's all men's physique and classic. Nobody does bodybuilding anymore.
You think that'll change though with some of the new weight caps? That'll kind of push the guys one way or the other?
I don't know. I just don't think people want to be bodybuilders anymore. I don't know. I just don't see many bodybuilders. I think Colton is frozen.
Dang it.
You just don't see many bodybuilders anymore. It's really weird. I think, I mean, I kind of get it, because the classic physique and men's physique are more accessible to people. Like, it's probably a more appealing look. Like, I don't know. And like a lot of dudes don't want to look like a big, super heavyweight, open class bodybuilder. I mean, I always wanted to be the freak, but I know Chase wants to be the freak.
I mean, it's funny because it's like, it's fun, but at the same time, it's not fun. Like living, being 260, 270, 280, you know, like you definitely feel a lot better when you're leaner, like tighter waist, toned down, smaller, more mobile, you know, I don't know, but
Well, I mean, you're
want what
bigger
we
than
want.
me, man. I know, like, when I'm get up to, like, 270, 280, I feel miserable. Like, walking upstairs and eating are exhausting.
yeah, I mean, like at 280 now, like I feel pretty good, but I've been here for quite a while, but you know, I don't know. When you start losing weight, you do notice like, okay, that was something, you know, like, I mean, and it comes down to simple shit like putting your socks on and your shoes on. Like, wow, that was a lot easier now than it once was. So
Is somebody
you take those
vacuuming?
things for granted.
Colin, is that you?
Was what, me?
Somebody vacuuming?
Someone,
F-16s just flew over me.
someone's using a hair dryer
Oh.
outside my door. Is it really? I got the door
Yeah.
closed and everything.
Yeah,
You're-
I can hear it.
Colin, your mic sounds really sensitive though.
Okay.
Like yours, you're loud.
Now I'm hearing cats too. It's just
Your
wild.
cats.
Yeah, it's picking up everything.
Well, I don't know why you'd be hearing cats. That's a mystery.
I think your mic sensitivity is super high because it looks like you're barely talking and it's fucking loud.
Okay, I'll turn it down.
Maybe that'll
That's
help.
too low, man.
That's too low.
There you go.
This
There you
is
go.
verification that we plan nothing out.
Is
for
this
We don't
better?
do any, yeah, it's good.
It's a little better. Yeah,
we,
that's good.
we don't do any mic checks. We don't have an agenda. We just wing this, pull it straight
Yeah,
out
that
of our butts.
I thought that was a vacuum cleaner.
Someone's doing their hair. I've got my wife's got some friends in town, and we're getting ready to go to brunch. So
Ooh.
yeah, ooh la la.
I had brunch for dinner last night.
Yeah. You disappointed a lot of people not finishing your pancakes. By the way,
Dude,
what happened
I
to no soldier left behind, bro?
I tapped out. That's like Justin had me do. I don't know, it was over 1,000 grams of carbs yesterday, and I just like got to dinner, and I'm like, I guess I'm not hungry enough yet. He hasn't starved me enough to get me to that point where I don't want to eat.
You know what? I think it's funny. Like I never had issues with like eating earlier in like bodybuilding, but now even in the deficit, I'll struggle to finish my food sometimes. Like, do you think it's just like our digestion just takes that much of a beating that we just like lose interest?
Yeah, maybe. Like, I get sick of eating. I definitely can't handle food like I used to. That, like, I actually look forward to contest prep anymore. I like eating less food.
Yeah.
You get to a point at the end where you start getting hungry, but, like, Amy's going to hate me when I say this, but my lowest day is like 3,200 calories. So,
Yeah,
A lot.
your high day, like you eat all my food in just one meal. You just
Yeah.
pile in the rice in. I'm like, that's my whole day worth of carbs.
I don't know what. I was resorting to toast and jam yesterday because I just didn't have an appetite.
Yeah. It must be psychological then. Like it has to be psychological based. Like, yeah.
Well, I mean, the PEDs are going to have an effect on all the stimulants, the PEDs and shit like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Colton, have you seen that with your clients?
What's that? The hunger?
I mean, like as you get bigger and you're eating more food when you go on contest prep, like I just don't get hungry anymore. Like,
Yeah,
even on contest prep, I'm not hungry.
I think honestly, there's some interaction with use of androgens and hepatic function. And I think it has something to do with that, but it's very common. And even for myself, it's something I've seen. I remember the first show I did, I was just ravenous the entire time. After it, I was ravenous the entire time. Now it's just like, whatever, like I really, it's not a big thing for me or my clients, honestly, especially if they've done 3 or 4 shows.
Yeah, it's like I mean I like a little bit of hunger. Like I like being ready to eat for my next meal, which is kind of where I'm at in the middle of the week. I was something a little hungry on my low day this week, but for the most part, I just like yesterday I was struggling to get it down on the high day.
My appetite's pretty stupid. Like I feel like I'm always holding back, like in food. Like I feel like I could just eat and eat and eat and not stop until my stomach would explode. Like it's just I have no, like I can control it, but I just feel like, like I've gotten to as heavy as I am, but still like holding back, trying not to overdo it.
When you were a kid,
crazy.
were you, as a kid, did you eat a shit ton of food?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been able to eat a lot. Yeah, it's I don't know.
I'm the same way, Chase. I can eat until I make myself sick. Like,
I mean,
myself to eat a lot.
I go back and look at like not when I was super young, but I would say like college age, like Christmas time, like literally eating so much that I had thrown up before, like unintentionally, where it's like, what the hell is wrong with me? Yeah, it's bad.
I was just looking
Not
into
good.
it. I was just looking into it then. Apparently, anabolic steroids have a lot of interplay with neuropeptide Y, and that obviously regulates a lot of your appetite and stuff like that, and other behaviors. So that's probably one of the handful of mechanisms that has that effect.
interesting.
Yeah, I mean, there's that, but like it's always been like that, even when I was natural, like through college. So it was just nasty one time. Like one of my buddies wanted to have like a pizza eating contest with me, and so we went to like this all you can eat place, and like I ended up eating like 43 slices.
It's amazing.
And I just like blew him out of the water.
Yeah.
Like, he had like
No
20
contest.
something. I like doubled it and then had dessert.
Hell
and
yeah.
And I don't know. It's always been pretty bad. Like I could probably if I wanted to, I could probably be a competitive eater on some level.
Well, the Japanese guy just retired, man. So there's an opening at the top.
Oh, right.
If I
man.
ate 43
Kobayashi.
slices of pizza, I would need to be seatbelted to the toilet and have a wooden spoon in my mouth.
Yeah.
How much does like a 16-inch pizza have in slices though? That's like
8?
8, 10.
Yeah, 8.
So he ate like 5 whole pizzas in one sitting.
I mean,
I
to be
think
fair, they weren't like huge slices, but still, it was.
could Chase be the first human born who could potentially out pizza the Hut?
I hope not.
I definitely noticed when I add Tren and my appetite. Like I was starting to get a little hungry, and then Tren went in this week. Just a very low dose that Tren went in, and my appetite just went immediately when I added. When I put the Tren in, my appetite went down. It's crazy, just a small amount of Tren, how it affects me. Like my resting pulse is up 12 beats a minute just from
Yikes.
just from adding 25 milligrams a day.
Yeah, it's really interesting how it does that. Like same thing for me. Every time I like add in, just like you said, something like 20 or 30 a day. Yeah, it'll pop the resting heart rate up by like 10. Like in a few days. It's crazy.
Don't tell Jordan I'm taking 25 milligrams of Tren a day.
Yeah, he would mind up.
I honestly,
You won't believe you.
I'm considering pulling it out. Like my sleep was awful this week. I actually got a decent night's sleep yesterday after the high day. So the high day definitely helped me sleep, but it's I don't know. Oh, there's AJ. AJ said add DAO enzyme. I don't know anything about that. What is that?
It eats up histamine.
Oh yeah. I have that. I think Todd told me to get that one time.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, you want the DAO to eat up the histamine, and then you want, I think, the mastic gum, and there's some other things to, what is it, like like calm mast cells or something like that, so they don't put out as much histamine. Something like that. I don't know. I'm
Okay.
just a bro.
Yeah, I'm just a bro too. I know enough science to be dangerous. I know how to work on computers. Well, kind of. Not really. I just tell people what to do. Work on computers.
You're no schlub
Just
when it comes to
delegate.
computers. It's just compared to our technicians that are so fucking smart.
I have a degree in computer science. I can claim that.
There's a big difference between 0 and 25. You might I couldn't sleep on 5 milligrams of Tren this time through, but in the past 10 milligrams, 20 milligrams of Tren, actually in the past 10 milligrams of Tren I couldn't sleep on, but maybe you might be able to sleep on less Tren.
It seems to be settling down a little bit. Yeah, I have the zinc in. I don't have the others. I've been doing the magnesium too. I was talking with Dean St. Martin about that, so I've added that in. That definitely helps some. It's wild too because my heart rate variability goes down too. It says it's like in the danger zone when I'm on Tren, so it's like everything, all the red flags.
It
So
could
I
be
don't-
pulmonary hypertension, honestly. Like that's pretty.
You really don't need it. I mean, you looked absolutely amazing without it. So if you weren't hungry the whole point of the Tren is it does the glucocorticoid blockade, and it's supposed to act as an uncoupler. I mean, you can get that with clenbuterol is an uncoupler, and the Anavar does the anti-glucocorticoid blockade, plus it lowers TBG. So like Anavar plus Clen should do most of what Tren does. I mean, of course, people say Tren's got magical properties, and it definitely improves glucose sensitivity, but you probably have perfect glucose sensitivity anyway.
Yeah, my fasting glucose. I mean, it's always in the 90s. It's just kind of where it is.
If your fasting glucose isn't good in prep, you probably fucked up your prep.
Yeah,
I'd probably say increase the Tren to maybe 100 a day and see if it reverses it. See if that reverses the problem.
I actually get
200 a day, maybe.
When in
I
doubt,
would-
more Tren.
I went hypo earlier in the week with no insulin. Like I started getting all shaky, and like I checked my blood sugar, and it was in the 40s.
Yeah, that's the big thing that I get from Tren is I'll go hypoglycemic just randomly. I would have like eaten a meal and then maybe go take the dog for a walk. In the middle through the walk, the light switch will go off, and I'm like, oh shit, I gotta go home. And you start sweating like crazy, and it's like, damn it, what the hell? Yeah, it's crazy.
You know how like hyperglycemia, like drug free, feels different to like on insulin and stuff like that. I swear the hyperglycemia from Tren feels like the stuff you get from Humalog. Like it's aggressive. Do you reckon the same? Like,
Oh
I
yeah.
actually
Yeah.
freak
yeah.
out. Sometimes
It's like a
yeah,
rapid
panic.
onset of just like, holy shit, I'm hypo.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
a funny story about this. So I was given this thing called Keto Mojo, where you
Oh, yeah, I have one of
basically,
those,
I
too.
think
I know what
you
that is.
breathe into it and it tells you what your ketone level
Oh,
is.
yeah.
Mhm.
And so you're supposed to be in ketosis with like a 2. And this was off season. And I was resting, no matter, I was eating like a 4,000 calories, and I was on 8 GH or something like that. And I was resting at 2, and then post training, I was like 16. And then I ate a bag of gummy bears, and I was at like 13, like 100 grams of sugar. I was at like 13 still because the Tren was just that strong that I could not go out of ketosis no matter how much carbs I ate.
You must have been sweating like a motherfucker.
All the time. Yeah. All the time. It's just,
I still
Yeah, I
have
remember-
my Keto Mojo. That thing is cool as shit, man. It's a blood test, but it'll check your ketones, your glucose, and your hemoglobin. But I heard the FDA came down on them, and they can't do the hemoglobin one now because it's considered a medical device. So stupid.
That's what they do with CPAPs, isn't it? You used to be able to get them, and now you have to get like an actual script for it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bad shit under the ground now, man.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy.
Justin's
Yeah,
wife
everyone-
is doing the scripts for CPAPs now. I know that's the thing.
Oh,
she's
I didn't know
doing.
that.
Yeah,
So
Wait.
Dennis can do that.
I guess.
I mean, it's pretty simple to get a script for it. Like, there are websites that sell scripts for
Yeah.
CPAPs.
Yeah,
You can
like,
go
I know-
like isn't it telehealth stuff where you can just like pay them basically, and they'll write one for you
Like,
online.
I
went to that
know.
place you told me about, Chase. Was it
CPAP My Way?
My Way, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, they'll write you a script on the spot, and if you buy a CPAP from them, they'll waive the prescription fee, which is like
I'm
$100.
assuming Amy doesn't need a CPAP. Big guy problems.
Yep. I do not need a CPAP. I breathe just fine all night long.
It's pretty bad when I snore so loud. My dog doesn't want to be in bed with me.
I've been banished to the couch ages ago.
Man, it's crazy how if you don't know that you snore, and if you've never like recorded yourself when you sleep, like it's crazy that you just don't know how bad it is.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how terrible it was until I was finally like, it can't be that bad, right? And so then I like get an app on my phone and I have it sitting next to my bed, and I wake up the next morning and it was like going off all night, and I like play one of them, and it is so loud and deep, and like just it sounds like another animal, and I'm like, holy shit, what the hell? And like my girlfriend at the time, my wife now, she was like, yeah, it's like a monster or something. Like, I don't. So ever since then, like, I got a CPAP just so that my wife would sleep in the same bed with me. When we were dating, like early on, I was like, I got to do something, otherwise she won't want to stay over at my place.
Colin and I shared a room at the New York Pro last year, and I told myself, never fucking again. If I go anywhere with Colin, we're in separate rooms. He went with me. He was my date to the Masters USA's last year, and we had an Airbnb, and he was in the other room, and I could still fucking hear him. I had to go to the store and buy a fan. So I could drown him out.
So, Colin,
was-
have you actually?
I'm even
have
loud
you
when I'm
actually started
sleeping.
CPAP yet?
So you have a CPAP though. I don't
Yeah.
understand.
Have you started
Does it
using
not
yet?
work?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you started using it, Colin?
I have used it like 4 times since I got it.
That's crazy, man.
I'm gonna start using it again. Look, I lost it, and then my wife did some cleaning, and we found it again, and now I have it.
CPAP.
And
How do you lose the
yeah,
CPAP?
I don't know, dude. We have like this closet. It's like just like Narnia. Like things go in and they don't come out. Okay, and like. Well, we fucking found it. I've used the air fryer way more than the CPAP. That's funny.
Lion the Witch
I
air fryer.
Man, man, I got my CPAP like 9 years ago, and since the first day, I have not gone one night without it. It was just it's too good, man. Like I noticed it immediately.
Yeah.
Like I was taking multiple naps in the day. I was always exhausted, and like I'm pretty sure I haven't taken one nap in 9 years in the middle of the day since I started using it. It's crazy.
Naps are a regular part of my routine.
Yeah. So
I can never make it through the whole night with mine on. I get like this panicky feeling in the middle of the night, like somebody's suffocating me, and I'll rip it off.
Yeah, that's happened to me a few times actually, where I genuinely feel like something's holding my face shut, and I freak out, and it's like I wake up immediately and pull it off.
That's why I had to
love
get the
mine.
nasal pillows, because the face mask flipped me out, like real bad.
Same thing with you.
Yeah, so I switched to the nasal pillow. I got the full face mask first, and then I was like, I'll try the nasal mask. And then my mate's like, no, you should have gotten the nasal pillow, not the nasal mask. I thought to myself, oh, surely it works fine. My nose is too fucking big. So I had to get the nasal pillow. The large nasal mask doesn't fit over my nose. It crushes these two parts. And then I can't breathe.
thought the nasal pillow
Your
was
nose is too big.
Yeah.
Look at this
I know.
thing. I got that growth hormone nose. What are you talking
Oh,
about?
I do.
Honestly, I guess maybe when I turn to the side, my side profile, I've got more of I'm probably
Let's
the
see
only
it.
German with a June nose. Like,
See that?
see
We
it.
don't.
Yeah.
We don't say that.
Let's
I
compare
don't know.
noses.
So
I've got-
I always feel
I-
like I'm being trapped.
I've got the one that just goes like right here, like just
Yeah,
around
I've
my
got that,
nose.
but it doesn't it crush your nose and like shut this bit? It does that to mine.
I got no. I mean, mine's the large size. I don't know what size. Did you get a small or something?
I got
Plus,
the
mine's
largest one.
also it's got memory foam around it
I've got
instead
that
of
one.
like
It's the
it's awesome. I love it.
No, I've got that exact one. I
Yeah.
think I got it because I saw you recommended in the video,
Oh,
and then
my bad.
and then I was like, oh, this sucks because it was
It's so
comfortable, but
good. Yeah.
Yeah, it just
JT,
doesn't.
I think like last week was talking about how they just came out with a new one that has like something that goes up your nose and then also has the face mask too, so it's both.
Well, the
Yeah.
issue
Oh,
with
wow.
me with the nose is I have a deviated septum,
40.
and so I can't breathe through my fucking nose.
I'll look that up.
Oh,
I need to
man.
get that fixed at some
Maybe
point.
take a look into this one that he's talking about here, the ResMed F40.
I do have a ResMed CPAP. I bet you never thought you'd be having CPAP conversations. This is what
Oh, most of the men I've dated have been bodybuilders. So yes, we have have conversations. Like I said, I mouth tape nice, so I look like a serial killer when I go to bed. Got my mouth shut, wearing a head, like wearing an eye mask.
When I first
awesome.
bought a CPAP, I bought like 3 different masks. I bought like the traditional one that goes like over your nose and mouth, one that just goes over your nose, and then one that goes all the way around your face. So just like it's big, it was just a big glass thing and just like this big silicone seal. That one was hilarious because like if I got like turned just a little bit, it would just make like these huge farting noises. And then it would fog up, and I was like, "This is ridiculous."
This might be the greatest.
I was trying everything I could.
Sleep apnea diagnosis I've ever seen. Haggler says, I accidentally found out about my sleep apnea. I was staying over at this Tinder date years ago, and the first thing in the morning she tells me I didn't breathe like half the night.
Tinder girls are great, man. They can do a lot for you.
So many things.
Yeah.
So many
That's
things
right.
I can say about this comment.
Yeah,
That's weird that she lets you
I have
sleep
that
over.
one too. I've got that one
Did you-
too, Nick.
Did you like it?
Oh yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's
It's-
great.
I've got this one and the memory foam version, but like I put it on and it somehow like it crushes the sides of my nose and I can't breathe. It's so
That's great.
so frustrating.
It's weird.
If you
Yeah,
show me
no.
your CPAP mask, I'll show you mine.
Mine's all the way in the bedroom. No, I have that nasal pillow one where it just like sits over your nostrils. Like that one's great too. Like I just really like the memory foam one because that one sometimes if I turned my head sideways, it would just like come a little bit off, and then the silicone would make a squealing noise. So
This is the one I got right now. The whole
That's
Yeah,
the
noodle.
exact same
That's
one
what I have too.
That's the
Yeah,
exact
I've
same
got that
I
one.
have.
It's not my
Wow.
favorite.
Yeah. I reckon you'll find one of the nasal ones works really well. Yeah.
Get that
Because
from
it's
the
less
Zara.
evasive. Like the reason I like the nasal pillows is literally like one strap over your face, so it feels very like non-obstructive.
yeah, you don't
So
notice.
you don't notice it at all, and you can sleep on your side. It doesn't kind of like knock off or anything. Yeah.
Anyways.
That was a very in-depth CPAP discussion, gentlemen.
I want to get one. The next step up from your full face one, Chase, is just the Darth
The helmet.
Vader meditation chamber, the full-on
It's-
barometric chamber that he gets
it's-
into.
It seals around your neck and it just bubble over your head, blowing air into your
They made a
ears
full
and-
head CPAP mask that was in the shape of Darth Vader's helmet. There wouldn't be a price that was too high for me.
You just like pull a string at the bottom and tighten it up.
Partially autistic, nerdy bodybuilders. So. I
Just
saw
take a
gr-
trash bag and put it over your head and cut a hole in it. Put a hose on it. Just let it fill up with air.
I don't know what you're talking about, Tim. What
Maybe,
shape?
was he talking about me? I don't even know. Are we missing out on the?
Yeah,
Get it.
everyone has a shaved head except for Colin.
Well,
Well, and Amy. but
I'm
that's
not going to shave my head. No.
I think girls are exempt.
Yep. A friend of mine did during like 2020, went full on, even texted me in the middle of the night. She's like, I think I'm gonna shave my head. Like, maybe wait till tomorrow morning. Like, maybe wait. I wake up in the
Sleep on
morning
it.
to a video of her shaving her head in the middle of the
Nice.
night. And
Oh,
honestly, she
man.
rocked it. Like, she looked
Maybe
amazing.
the sides or like one side, but that's
You can
about
pull off
it.
the
I think
side.
if you're
Women
gonna
can
go
pull
one
off
side,
side
go
head.
all.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
it can, especially if there's a tattoo there or something that can look cool.
Yeah.
But
To show off. It's actually the women that used to like just shave the back. Like, I never understood why that would be a good thing.
I don't know.
Yeah.
like Demi Moore from
Remember-
Ghost, not a good look.
Yeah.
Remember when it used to be cool to get like razors kind of like cut into the side of your head and
Yeah.
stuff, like lightning bolts and shit?
I can't
Wow.
believe you remember that.
Oh, it's so bad. I remember asking my mom
2000s,
before.
late
They were,
90s.
Yeah.
in '91 they were called shingles. You had like shingles like on the side of your house. Shaved in.
so-
You have
Oh.
spiky hair on top, long hair in back, and then shingles put on the sides of your head.
Is
The,
that what they
the
call it in
old
Detroit?
2-minute noodle hairstyle where you have like the curly top and it's like just bleach blonde. Oh,
Like Marco from Lost Boys. Yeah.
yeah.
No, the kids have their broccoli hair. That's the new trend. It's either
It's
they've
so
got the broccoli
weird.
hair or the Hitler Youth. Those are
I
the,
don't understand why
the
it's
two
like that.
haircut
Though.
options.
There's so many. They like train in packs of 5 to 10. They all look the exact fucking same with their broccoli haircuts and pajama bottoms and slippers.
Dangle
It's
earrings.
just, it's so weird. There's no individuality at all.
I can't say anything. I was in high school. I had metal hair. I looked like I was a member of Motley Crue. Everybody
there were
had the
different-
same.
There were different looks. Like there were
The metal
different
perm.
cliques. There was the metal people. There was the jocks. There were preppy kids. Now they all look the exact same with their broccoli haircut.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess
Rocky haircut. I don't understand this reference.
Someone
Maybe
pull up a
do this.
picture.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
on TikTok and look this up.
just get some broccoli.
All right. You clearly.
I
have
mean,
not
like, I
worked-
just was thinking like Justin Timberlake in the 90s. Like, is it curly? Is that why it's
Oh.
broccoli?
I can't believe you've never seen a teenager in the past 5 years.
You clearly haven't worked.
I
at
mean,
the
only
gym at
not,
5
they don't
p.m.
have broccoli hair.
You're
Maybe this
thinking
is not a Colorado
Justin
thing.
Timberlake. That's ramen hair. The broccoli hair is a different animal.
Yeah, Rick Ramen.
I blame Patrick Mahomes. I think he was the first I saw with it, and then everybody wanted to be Patrick Mahomes.
Fluffier? Like fluffy curly?
Hang on,
I'll be honest.
Look this up.
As much as I hate the broccoli hair, I do prefer it to the top knot. That little
Oh,
onion fucking-
I agree.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
better than the
That
top
was-
knot.
that was hideous.
Here's some examples.
Yeah, there we go.
All
That guy's
the
the
kids
quintessential
look the exact same.
That's what we're
Here it
talking
is.
about.
That dude
all
in
of it right
particular is
They all look
is
the
on the
exact
machine
same.
I want to use, and he's looking at his phone.
I
Yeah.
don't see
Yeah.
that.
Hey, how many sets you got left?
Oh,
Wow, that's
Those-
I don't know. It's not like something that the youth of Colorado are doing.
I'm pretty
they
sure he
always
does.
always wear track pants, Jordans, or Converse shoes, and like a baggy, oversized T-shirt.
I'm going to take a
Same
wild
outfit
guess.
every time.
I'm going to take a wild guess that he does sumo deadlifts too. Oh yeah.
I would not
How
expect I would see
serious
this
he
guy in the
takes
gym.
for that picture. Can we go to a different picture? He's like looking right at me.
The pajama pants, yeah, they have
Looking into your
pajama pants.
soul.
Like
They're all wearing those crazy wear pants and stuff like that. That's right.
Yeah, the broccoli top.
It's like a
I have not seen that one. That is the Friar Tuck look right there.
Oh my god.
Right.
Oh, this is great.
an adult with it. That's even weirder.
Corporate.
It's
Broccoli
Photoshop,
head.
bro.
Yeah.
I-
See, like I think it's weird too because I see real young kids get haircuts like this now these days, and I mean, I remember when I was a really young kid, like the only two haircuts I had to choose between was a buzz cut or the bowl cut. As a
Yeah.
kid, like you either got
Same.
a bowl put on your head and your hair was cut, or you got the buzz cut. Like,
Yeah.
and now kids have these like designer kind of styles, and I don't know. I don't know.
You know
how
we're
their
sounding old right
parents
now.
are paying for it.
Yeah, I know.
Aren't
I
you
don't
only
have this
26, Rick?
No, I'm 30.
Oh, you're 30.
Yeah.
I'm definitely.
There are two
old.
people at my gym who unabashedly sing out loud, which I find really interesting. Just
That's awkward.
singing
Sing
out loud.
Uh,
It's a little strange.
Don't let anybody tell you that it's all sunshine and rainbows when you legalize weed. That's all I'm saying.
No.
That people are too happy in Colorado now.
All right, they're just singing out loud in the gym. Like they don't have a care in the world.
We don't play that shit on the East Coast.
I give pretty wide berth to people in the gym because I do some crazy stuff in the
Yeah.
gym. So
Yeah,
I try not to judge.
I certainly can't judge. I'm entering the gym in Birkenstocks, booty shorts, and a colorful dinosaur tank top. So I have no
Your
room
booty
to
shorts
speak.
to work out? Is that for Paul's benefit?
That's a self-empowerment thing, Amy. Okay. It doesn't. Yeah.
Colin wants to know why everybody thinks we're a couple. Literally. Yeah,
All the gay dudes at the gym are like perplexed. They're like, "You're not."
I can just picture
be
the
why.
whole kind of scene.
I
right now.
don't understand why. I don't understand why.
Yeah.
I hope you also are wearing like knee-high socks with like the color at the top, the color bands,
Oh yeah.
Birkenstocks.
Socks with
No,
the
the
sandals.
blue and red bands.
Like
Mhm.
that might be a
Oh,
bridge
that's
too
not-
far.
there are no socks in Colin's life.
I'm too lazy. That's all it is. I'm just lazy. I love to be comfortable and lazy.
Colin's
Yeah.
commitment to the sandal game is strong. I mean, it can be a foot of snow on the ground outside, and he's still in his booty shorts and sandals. He'll put a jacket on. He'll put a winter coat on with it.
He's got to uphold his street cred.
Hey man, the Romans marched into Britain wearing sandals.
That is true.
Yeah.
They did indeed.
And then the Spartans battled in war in like leather underwear and
right.
sandals. So yeah.
And they were only kind of gay.
Yeah.
That is true. Good point.
Speaking of that, I gotta bring this one up once in a while just for reminiscing. But you want to see I always got to show my high school photo.
It's
Yeah,
classic.
bring it up. Yeah.
Let's see here. Amy hasn't seen this. So
You should make a meme of this, Paul. Have you seen the meme where it's like when you're being mean to me, just know this is who you're being mean to. That's you gotta make this picture into that meme.
You know what it reminds me of?
Awful
Degrassi
hair.
Junior High.
Oh man, the rare time they caught me smiling, I was like, no, I am not smiling.
Are you trolling, Josh?
I like that. That's a myth.
I'm pretty sure a lot of them are pretty fucking gay.
Mythology.
So far as I understand, the Spartans saw it as strictly utility because you couldn't have women on the battlefield. That's a place for fighting. You can't have women on the battlefield, so they'd bring, young male attendants onto the battlefield with them to help out with things. It's not gay. We're at war. It's necessary.
What was that film? You just
The
memory.
samurai did it too.
No, Harold and Kumar.
We
go to
ruin
Guantanamo Bay.
everything for you.
It's
They're all
not.
gay.
It's not gay to. It's not gay to get your dick sucked. You're the gay one. It's like, what was that? That was Harold and Kumar. Yeah.
I don't know.
All right.
Should we get back on the rails or?
Yes.
Yeah. Let's
Very good.
Colin, go to brunch already. Jesus Christ.
We're already.
Man,
on
apparently
for
the Greeks wiped their butts with broken pots. Never heard that one.
man.
How does a historian even know that? Like, what do they do to figure that out?
Oh man.
Poop particles on the pots.
We found these
that's
broken pottery. Quick, do the poop test on it.
Do the poop test. That's all they do. They just check for poop and semen on
Should
everything.
we carbon date it to see how old it is? No. Start
Do
with
the poop and
test.
semen test.
Just they're trying to figure out the microbiome. That's why.
I saw somebody had.
Right.
It was up recently on social media. There was an auction of the oldest fossilized turd that was found. It was from like 15, 20,000 years ago or something that somebody paid a crap ton of money for.
We owe an apology
crap ton of
to
money.
this viewer who's listening to us with the speakers on full blast. Hopefully at a library.
He plays it over the speakers at his public gym.
Yeah. Apparently we do feature on at least a few gyms around the country. People were watching this shit at the gym. Like
Wasn't
on
it
the TV.
Metroflex? Was it Metroflex Arlington? That's so weird.
Evidently have us up on the screen there.
Oh no!
hilarious.
Wait, Metroflex Arlington plays it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've trained there. That's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing. You're embarrassed.
Here it is. This is hilarious. This was the one that was.
I don't want to see a
man.
fossilized turd. What the fuck?
That's impressive.
I did not expect that to come out of the screen.
It looks like
Yeah, I didn't
Rasputin's
know
dick.
That's a healthy shit though. I
Holy
mean, that's
Why is it flat?
I would save that for
That's what
posterity
he said.
That's
too.
what that is.
That's impressive.
I forget what it sold for.
Why
It was
can't I
some
stop
ungodly
looking?
amount of money.
Why can't I stop looking?
We know how Todd. If we ever want to
It
silence
looks like
Todd,
it
we
looks
just talk
like a
about poop.
prehistoric battle club.
It's a shit-lally. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yep.
There's a meteorite.
Oh god, here we go. At the gym. In San
There's a meteorite.
Yeah.
Somebody's got us on. They got us on at the gym in San Francisco.
Oh shit.
Oh man, it's hilarious that people watch us at the gym.
That's
I
why.
bet they didn't like that last stream of jokes then about the Spartans.
Oh yeah.
This is a quality entertainment, folks.
Yeah.
Colin, I think you have a serious untapped talent as a comic. I think you need to bring back like Mystery Science Theater 3000, but for bodybuilders, like do the commentary of bodybuilding shows.
I thought we talked about that once. You know, Colin was.
Would love to
comedian.
do that.
Yeah, Colin did stand-up comedy.
Well, gotta bring it back. I mean, like, I would love to hear like just your live stream of consciousness as like throughout a bodybuilding show.
Maybe we can do it like an alt cast sometime on one of the shows.
You've got to wear your dinosaur shirt and your breaking stuff.
I gotta wear the dinosaur shirt.
Yeah.
I do it every night at the gym. Usually it's me rambling about. Usually it's work complaints, but I'm out of my job in a week. So
I got a treatise on Roman history last night. I hadn't worked out with Paul in like a week. He was all backed up from watching Rome documentaries every night, and he had a lot. I think he spoke to me for about 20 minutes straight about Rome last night at the gym.
I'm such a nerd, man. I get down these rabbit holes and I'll just get obsessed with something for a period of time. And I've been reading about Rome and watching Roman documentaries nonstop lately before I go to bed. It's not a normal kind of behavior.
That's the trend.
Read studies.
This is the
trend, yeah.
I watched a documentary about the origins of Hinduism, Buddhism, the Taoism, all that kind of stuff last
I've done
night.
all that stuff too.
Yeah, it was like the dates and who the founding person was, and comparing them, like not just the dates of them, but the religions themselves. It would bore the fuck out of people because there was no cartoons or pictures. It was just like timelines and family trees of people. Also, sometimes I'll watch like little computerized risk games where they replay different battles between like Mongolians and Polish people and stuff, or Mongolians and the Song dynasty. Like this unit moved over here, and this movement attacked from the flank, and the archers withdrew, and then that pulled them in through this bottleneck, and then they had them surrounded. And I watch stupid shit like that all the time. So Paul, you're not alone.
My obsession
You
lately
guys remember
is watching stuff about pyramids.
I think it was on Discovery or History Channel, but it was like where they would pin two warriors together, like a ninja
Deadliest
and a
Warrior.
Viking or something.
Deadliest Warrior.
Deadliest
Oh,
Warrior.
yeah,
Deadliest Warrior was a fucking good
Deadliest
show.
Warrior.
And I still
was
think
so
that
good.
the Celtic warrior got gypped on their episode. I think they had him up against like the Persian Immortal or something. And like the first part of the show, they would go through like all the weapons that they would use and they would test them on like, you know, dummies and shit to like test like how hard they hit and how damaging they were. And all the Celtic warrior weapons were like super duper damaging. And then they went on to do the thing and they lost. And I was like, fucking bullshit.
Now we know we're getting into next level nerdom when we're talking about who would have won the battle.
Who would have won?
The samurai beating the kung fu.
The knight versus the pirate.
Well, you just push him in the water.
And they drown.
I mean, that would be the best. It's like, that's the easiest fight is, are you on a ship? If you're not on a ship, why are you there if you're a pirate? If you are on a ship, why are you in full plate mail if you're on a ship? It's like, that's the easiest way to kill a dude. Just push him over in the water.
Have any of you guys seen the YouTube channel RTS Battle Room?
I gotta get this up here.
I don't know.
On your head.
You belong to that
All
dog,
right.
Chase? I don't know.
Yeah.
He's claiming
Pretty
you. It's my bitch.
Basically.
That head must be salty.
What's on your head?
He's getting all the dandruff off.
He's getting a full dose of growth hormone right now.
He's getting some salt. Yeah, is that good?
Look how serious he is.
Your
Like,
dog
All
my
right.
job is done here.
All in a day's work.
Yeah, I'm gonna send a
Here.
link.
Adorable.
I'm gonna send a link in the private chat, guys. Here, it's
Ugh.
Doctor Strange versus 250,000 dwarfs.
Doctor
Like,
Strange
there's
versus
this guy on
250,000.
YouTube. He does these like
Is this a
simulations of, like,
UEBS?
different kinds of soldiers and like how many would it take to kill Superman, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I think he did like Space Marine versus how many Space Marines does it take to take down Superman or something. He does all these weird kind of like pretty cool.
That would have been the shit I would have been doing when I was 13. I legit had a authentic ninja outfit in size when I was 13 years old. If you couldn't tell from that high school picture I posted.
The ninja.
We have facial trauma call right now, so I'm hoping that people don't try to recreate these things themselves, but they inevitably do, and find out that faces break in real life.
Oh my god.
Like it's crazy, the chaos that happens when you're on trauma call. I mean, yeah, never fails to amaze.
I'm sure you guys see some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, people like to get drunk and fight and think that there is no facial repercussions of that. Like, yeah, when you hit somebody in the face, it's probably going to break it.
Yeah.
It's not the movies.
Yeah.
We see a lot of results of drunken fighting of all forms.
Yikes. Well, you have to
Mhm.
just watch UFC fight. And see
Who
what
has
their
the
faces
softest
look like.
faces?
The softest faces, like
Yeah,
the,
like
the most
if you had to
breakable?
punch someone in the face and you had a group of different people from different groups,
Here's a hypothetical.
whose face would
Different
give
groups.
way before your fist? Like if you didn't want to break your fist, who
That
was the
broccoli-haired
face you want to
kid?
punch them? Okay, so children have the softest faces.
The broccoli top.
No, kids. I mean, I think kids' faces a lot of times don't break because they're a little more flexy. They've
Right,
got
the green stick fractures and
Yeah.
all that.
they
So like, an
spiral.
old person have a really brittle face. Would I want to punch a old person in the face to protect my hand? All right, good.
They shatter a lot of stuff that way.
What if I
That's,
wrapped a chain around it? Would that protect my hand better? Would that or would that hurt my fingers more?
Well,
That might
Colin
hurt
and
your fingers more.
Yeah.
Colin and I learned from martial arts that most people don't know how to punch and they end up breaking their hands.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's
You
the
got to
first
use
two
Yeah,
like
knuckles.
this
with
part
the-
right here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
first two
this-
knuckles, yeah.
I broke
The
my
small
pinky
square,
that way when I
not the
was
big
younger.
square. Yeah.
Yeah.
I broke my pinky knuckle punching someone when I was a dumb young kid.
Yeah. The boxer's fracture.
Mhm.
That's why it's easier just to do jujitsu.
Yeah.
And I think
There's no-
That's
Isn't this
that's
the-
why I just sit on people now.
is this the softest place in the face, Amy? Is this where you're supposed to break it? That's the softest place.
I mean, hitting somebody straight in the nose is probably the softest place to break. A nose is going to
that's
break before an orbit or before a mandible, but hitting somebody in a mandible fracture is a pretty good one to get too, because if you're going to break it out the other side if you hit it just right.
Mm.
And yes, I did used to traditionally American style box, so I can speak to this with some authority about hitting people in the face.
Yeah, I knew about
This
the
is
nose.
something I know about.
The nose and the throat are low hanging fruit, but
Yeah.
This
we were
is a high
talking
quality
about.
episode, folks. We've
like-
covered every area of we could possibly. We haven't even talked about the New York Pro. Who won?
What? Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
Don't we have like California today?
yeah,
Yep.
it's on today. Yeah,
California.
Why don't we try to
Actually,
find a
really-
live stream of
I think
California?
AJ is actually at the California Pro right now.
Oh,
That would
cool.
make sense.
Yeah,
Did I mean, what did you guys think? I thought Martin looked better than Nick in finals.
I had
Yeah.
Martin on 4 of the places.
I pissed a lot of people off by saying that in a different group chat. They were very upset, but I thought Martin looked way better. I don't care. You could have Nick. He's leaner. Maybe he has. I wouldn't say he's even leaner, but he just has more muscle maturity. Right, you can see it better than you can on Martin. But just the shape and the silhouette of Martin, his posing, his sort of tenacity on stage. Like I love that shit. Whereas Nick just kind of sits there and just like sticks his fucking tongue out. Which hey, that's his stick, dude. Good, but
Yeah.
I liked Martin a lot better for the sport of bodybuilding. I think
Martin's very
better.
aesthetic. Martin's
I
very
thought it was-
aesthetic
I'm
for
a
that
big Nick
size.
fan, but I thought Martin looked great.
I think it's
Yeah.
so interesting when you look at Martin and Nick side by side and just look at like their abdominal structure and like how big Nick Walker's like individual abs are. Like his six pack is like literal bricks. And then you look at Martin's and they're like these little tiny like fucking lemons stacked or whatever. And he's just got, I mean, his waist is much smaller, but it's really interesting. Also, I was looking at a picture of like Nick's past shows, like when he first turned pro, and like his first couple pro shows, he had way more like deeper etching in his abs back then than he does now. And I think that that's something that's definitely changed his look for the worse. Like I feel like back then people were like, Nick's waist was wide when he was an amateur, and then he like brought it in a little bit, and people were saying like, "Oh, he's made it a strength on his body at that point," but now it's kind of going the other way again. I
It
think.
seems like all the guys end up with some diastasis eventually.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
the
see,
Persian
I've got it right now. Yeah, I think a part of it's hereditary, but then also just the amount of food you have to eat in the off season to grow that big. I think just the constant distension, because it's hard to effectively train your transverse abdominals if you're constantly full of food. And I think a lot of that plays a role. And then obviously the anabolic, the enhancement side of things. I mean, I think IGF-1 can play a pretty big role in that.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe, I mean, what does he have to do? I would maybe another 5 or 10 pounds on Martin, or does he need to put any more size on?
A lot of
I mean,
it's
does
just
he-
differences in structures and insertions, I think.
Mhm.
I mean, but yeah, look at that midsection compared, it's so much bigger. It's crazy, and just
You know
like
what?
not even just the circumference of it, but just like the actual muscles in there are so much bigger. It's crazy.
I think one thing that would really complement Martin's physique and potentially like give him the upper edge is just having a little bit more width to his lats and teres, and then just a little bit more capping of his side delts. That'll just like give him that X frame a little bit more and kind of that upper hand over Nick.
Yeah.
Assuming all other variables are equal, like conditioning, posing, that sort of stuff.
He looked a touch flat here, I felt like, just because his arms weren't, and this could be his genetics, right? But like it didn't feel like his arms were popping as much as they could have, or as good as they would look, if you're standing next to the guy just on a normal day. It seemed like he was a little bit deflated in the arms, and maybe that's kind of why it also hit his lats too. But I think he just needs to get bigger, unfortunately. It's just one of the shitty things about bodybuilding.
It's good that you brought that up. I think the flatness plays a role because, I mean, when I carb up, my back is one of the things that gets super flat. Like I need probably 3,000 carbs at least to get my back completely full in peak week.
Yeah, it's the same thing. I struggle getting my legs full. Like they'll look really small until I eat a fuck ton of carbohydrates, and by that point, it's like that's why linearly loading into a show can be sometimes beneficial, because sometimes you need that time to build that fullness up without spilling over.
Yeah, and you're not going to lose those carbs in peak week. Let's be real. You're not doing any crazy expenditure. If you are, you're not doing your peak week right. So the carbs aren't going to go anywhere if you do a linear load. You're better off like starting, like you said, the load earlier prior to the show. So that way you actually have the carbs there, because you can always kind of dry out a little bit the day before. It's harder to kind of carb up and not spill out over if you're not carbed up enough already the day out.
Yeah. But this was Martin's first show with Stefan, right? He was working with what's his name?
Stefan Kienzl.
Yeah, Kienzl. I can't remember, but I'm imagining that this is probably like the least favorable situation, and they'll probably produce something much better the next time they get to do that.
I thought Detroit worked with Stefan. No. Didn't he work with Stefan for Detroit?
However you say his name, he gets people in shape.
I don't know. He might have.
Didn't he work
with Stefan? One thing is for sure, like Stefan seems to land the plane better and better with each prep, like that he does with his athletes. I mean, you look at Urs, you look at Wesley. I know they're classic competitors, but I mean, physiology.
He gets him dry. Whatever he's doing during peak week, man, it fucking works, bro. That guy gets the conditioning that people come in when he's working with them is outrageous.
Yeah, and it just gets better with each competitive season.
Not only are they dry, these guys look full too. So that's a hard balance to strike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said he worked with Lucas. Says he worked with him for
the
Detroit.
Apparently, there is no live stream for the Cali.
Weird.
It's kind of sad.
I mean, like, you're going to spend all that money on promoting that show and paying for the venue, and paying the athletes, but you're not going to pay some computer guy like 10% of your profits to set up a website and hold a camera.
Yeah,
it just doesn't make any sense.
It's just greed driven.
Well, it's the opposite of greed. Greed would be trying to make money off of a live stream. We like greed. Greed's the backbone of capitalism. That's why we have stuff like lights.
I think it's more a sign of short-sighted greed. Like they don't have the intelligence to see that they could actually make more of a profit and get more exposure by having the live stream.
And it sounds like this show's being run by like a fucking dinosaur or something. Somebody like, what's the internet?
Like
electronic mail. What's this?
I remember they did that once when I did powerlifting. I mean, mind you, it was SPF, which is probably like the shittest powerlifting federation in the States. But I did like it was World Championships back in 2015, I think. It was in Vegas, and the people that were running the event, it was the same week as the Olympia that year. They didn't pay for Spotify. They had the free version of Spotify, so ads came on with all the songs when people were like going out of the platform.
That's so annoying.
They had ads playing during the show.
That is so
and then
annoying.
On top of that too, like that was so unorganized. Like these guys couldn't have organized a route in a brothel. It was so bad. It was appalling. Like people were like walking out on the platform in the wrong order. Like people, like they didn't have the platform ready. All this sort of shit. They misloaded the bar. Like it was an absolute piss take. I just makes me wonder like what kind of people they get to like run these powerlifting events and bodybuilding shows. Sometimes like it's like they just pick up some clown off the street.
I've never been to a powerlift.
Bad. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I've never been to a bodybuilding show that was run that bad. I mean, I've noticed that powerlifting in general, just because there's no fans, there's no money, so there's no incentive. So it's whoever will do it does it.
You should
Colin's
see the powerlifting
Colin's
events.
frozen face.
You should see the powerlifting events that my gym puts on. The powerlifting events my gym puts on are top notch. They're
so happy.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, they do bodybuilding shows too. They produce, well, I don't know if they did last year or not, but they produced the Pittsburgh Pro. They do the DC Pro. I mean, they do some really nice stuff. All right, we want to take some. We lost Colin. We want to take some questions. There's not a lot of questions.
Oh shit, we're just gone.
Maybe
I missed his. That was like the best frozen screenshot of all time. Like, he just looked like so cheery.
Yeah.
He's always a happy guy. I've known Colin for a long time. We've been working out together for like 7 years. It's what happens when you're high 24/7.
That reminds me. High point of the week. Stan Efferding gave me that shout out. He said, "Me and Chase are good friends. We go back years." I was like, "Yes, that's right, Stan. That's right. We go back years, buddy."
That's awesome.
What were
I
they
couldn't believe
saying
he
about
even thought of me. They were talking about cycles, and Stan said the craziest cycle I ever heard of was from Chase Irons. And he was like, and I like Chase. We go back for years, you know. And I was like, oh, that's so nice. Yeah, but then he was like, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
Stan's a solid guy. I've met him a couple times. I don't know if he remembers me or not.
5 grams.
I was surprised he like even like knew my name, but it was just because I had met him before, like 4 years ago or something, when I was making all those vertical diet videos, and he had like reached out to me to be like, hey, thanks for that, years ago. But outside of that, I never actually, like, I saw him at Swiss, and when he saw me, he was just like, hey, what's up, bud? And I was just kind of like, as he walked by. I don't think he even knew. But apparently,
it looked like he recognized me when he said hi to me, but I thought maybe that's just because he's a really good salesman. So he knows how to make people feel important, you know, because I've never interacted with him before. I don't know. So I know what you mean. It's like you don't know if people are just really good at being friendly or if they actually know you.
Yeah. You'd be surprised how many people watch us. like guys that I never would have suspected that watch. Like I was shocked when I was talking to Wesley Vissers and he was talking about stuff we talk about, and I'm like, really?
Oh
He's
yeah,
like listening to us while he does cardio and stuff. So
that's what that's what's crazy. Is like you never know who's watching, and it's not just a bunch of degenerate morons.
Well, it's kind of important that you're actually reaching. Like if you have celebrities that you look up to, and then they know who you are because they watch you, it's kind of creepy because now you got to watch what you say. Where if it's just like, you know,
one could even argue that you should always watch what you say to some degree.
I just think that's just
pretend
that
like
out there.
Everybody's always pretend that everybody's gay all the time, and you'll be okay. You know, you just speak.
Oh man!
Why do I have to pretend?
All right, let's grab some questions. What do we got, Colin? Now that you're back, we had your frozen smiling face.
I was just about to tell Nicholas how much I enjoy his random sprinkling of Australian slang into the podcast. Like couldn't organize a route at a brothel. That's a new one on me. I really appreciate that one. That's pretty good.
I'll try make a conscious effort of using more. There's a lot that I should know.
Well, what do you do at a brothel, Todd?
I assume that a root supposed to be penis or something, right?
Root means like
root means doing the hibbity dibbity.
In a brothel, so organize like I don't know, like a session of coitus, or I don't know.
Session of coitus.
Language.
Polite way of getting it on ever.
It's a session of lovemaking. So that is.
This couldn't be more autistic than this is definitely getting into the level on the spectrum level.
Coitus.
That's hurting my face. I'm smiling so much. I'm not used to these muscles being
It
used.
sounds like Colin's cats are getting it on.
Coitus. Oh, the coitus going on. I'm gonna say that to my wife the next time. Be like, hey, you down for some coitus?
Another one is,
Can I pencil you in?
if you want to say someone's stupid in Australia, you say, "Oh, that guy over there, he's one stubby short of a 6-pack," which like a stubby is like a type of a beer. Yeah, like a small. It's kind of like a small stubby bottle of beer, basically. Yeah,
I still like bin chickens the most, man. That shit gets
bin
me every time.
chickens.
Yeah,
Peacock.
that's a good one.
So, am I allowed to bring my stubby to the brothel for a root? Is that,
I think it's kind of
am I doing this right?
And then you might see some bin chickens afterwards.
I guess that would be like the literal definition of root beer.
Hey.
Bada bing.
Somebody hit the symbol.
Yeah, but
This has been a wing dinger of an episode.
Wing dinger. Okay, well, it hasn't been a particularly productive session for gathering questions. I don't know why. If we don't account for all the questions that were like, would you rather fight, one human-sized duck or 100 duck-sized humans? We had a lot of questions like that come in earlier. I didn't save those.
Human-sized duck.
Bring on
I feel
100 duck-sized humans. Let's do this.
That's right, Travis. It's not about size, it's about how you use it. Stubby pride. We got one question here from George. He says, have you noticed you need an abnormal amount of vitamin D3 to get at the top of the blood serum range? He's using 8,000 IU a day, and it's low. It's in the low range, he says. What would you guys recommend?
I'll check his magnesium intake. If your magnesium intake's in the gutter, vitamin D3 is going to do jack shit.
And I'd also
question
the format of the D3. I have my patient or my clients all use an oral, like a drop style, because the tablets are sometimes just not metabolized well, or they're just really low quality. And adding in some vitamin K2 along with it might be helpful. Yeah, but it's really absorbs really well in the mouth, so that's why I like the drops. And I'll even have people kind of rub it around their mouth to kind of help it. It means cofactors, right? Getting it in through the teeth and through the gums. You just get much better absorption that way. You might not need to take as much and get higher levels.
No. You can improve sublingual absorption by brushing your teeth first.
Well, because you're disrupting the.
You're getting micro tears all over on the gums and stuff, so it helps you absorb Anavar faster for the people that don't believe Anavar gets absorbed sublingually. They're just not thinking creatively enough. And then also winter, if I use 5,000 in the summer, I'm at 100. If I use 10,000 in the winter, I'm at 40 or 50. So the sunlight is a huge factor. So if you live in Alaska versus Florida, you might need more vitamin D3.
If you have a fair amount of tinfoil on your windows, you might need a little bit more D as well. Yeah.
And honestly, I know a lot of people think the recommended daily intake for vitamin D3 in supplemental form is usually 1,000 to 2,000 IU a day. But I can assure you 10,000 IU a day is pretty normal for the vast majority of people. So if you're taking 8,000 IU, it's probably a case you just need more vitamin D3, more sunlight, and also, like I said, check your magnesium because there is some interplay there.
I said he takes 600 milligrams of magnesium every day.
I
just wouldn't be scared to up the dose. Take it to 12,000. Just bump it up.
What was his name? The doctor you were on the
it's always Chase's answer.
That's the answer to everything.
Starts with an S, right? Like Dr.
Serrano.
Yes. Doesn't Serrano advocate for
giant
doses of vitamin D?
He does.
He does vitamin C.
No, he was talking about vitamin D.
I think he said 50,000 IU a day or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I remember it was considerable.
It was hundreds of thousands of IUs a day.
Was he the one that also advocated mega dosing melatonin? I think he did.
Maybe, but
is this supposed to be a joke?
This is a master level troll.
It's a master level.
You can't even tell that he's trolling. That's how good it is.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
this is funny. I take 600.
The Price is Right style. I think. My cat fight.
My vitamin D pills are 50,000 per pill.
Wow.
So
they wouldn't manufacture them if it was past the lethal dose, right?
Yeah, right.
Normal. In a prescriptive sense, usually one of the practical applications of it is 50,000 units every 5th day. as an administration tactic for some people. So
Because that's
I
not
mean,
easy to remember.
yeah, I know it's super weird, but
Why would
Yeah.
you do
What is
that?
it? It's
Easier,
built up in
easier
your
just
system
10,000 a
because
day.
it's-
It's easy to remember.
Yeah, you can store it. You can store vitamin D. So getting your levels up high enough, then you probably could back off on your dosage,
back off.
especially in the summer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like just get it
Or
up that
seriously,
high. And
just
that's why
go
the
touch-
infusions are good.
go touch some grass. I think many people just stay inside all day, and I'm guilty of it too. But go for a fucking walk. Like 20 minutes is a lot for you if you're outside. It does.
Do you watch Brett Cooper, Colton?
I don't know who that is.
Oh, because that's the only other person I've ever heard say touch grass. That's
A
funny.
lot of people say that.
I've only heard one person. She's the
never
only
heard that
person I've
saying
heard
before.
say that.
Hmm.
I'm not saying that
What do
other
we
people don't, but
What do we got next, Colin?
Let's see. We got. I know. Get Jay Lee active coaching here. Have any of the coaches here ever worked with a client who's had any type of bariatric surgeries? And if so, how do you modulate food in order to build muscle?
The same
yep,
kind of
I
way.
have. You just use protein shakes.
Yeah. I mean, like the macronutrients and the nutrient philosophy in general is going to be the same. It's just the vehicle in which you get it in. You're going to have to do lower volume, higher density foods, basically. Protein
Yeah,
shakes.
I've had some people with bariatric surgery. I don't know how I feel about bariatric surgeries. I just doesn't seem like it's ever a good long-term outcome from them.
It never
They
works
usually
really.
Yeah.
It's the diet that makes them lose fat, not cutting out part of their stomach.
Yeah,
Well, a
think it's
lifetime
more-
of malabsorptive issues follow. Like it's
Yeah.
really
exactly.
Well, it
yeah.
depends. They might
You
have
don't just impact the appetite, but you're also impacting the actual like gastrointestinal tract itself.
There's depends. I mean, if they had a Roux-en-Y, then yeah, because you're taking that part of their intestines. But if you had lap banding and other types of procedures that are less destructive, then it's still really it just comes down to the diet. But yeah,
Anybody's
I wouldn't recommend
lap
the
band, though.
Roux-en-Y.
It's just with all
What's
the
that?
issues they have with erosion and other issues with the lap band. I feel like
Yeah,
that's kind
did
of
they stop doing them? I thought they.
not a thing anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when
Not
I
as
used to do them,
done.
they existed because I used to do them.
Yeah.
But I mean, they probably changed it since then. That was 20 years ago.
Yeah. It is it's an aggressive way to treat something. I think in medicine that we tend to go to that, we go to these really barbaric is maybe not the right word, but aggressive ways to treat a problem. And
Well,
it like
it's-
forces the change, but it may not be sustainable.
Well, in medicine, it's about making money. So that's what the
Not a
hospital
non-for-profit
bill
plan.
for. Insurance will reimburse for it. Fucking do it. But like insurance isn't going to reimburse for personal training and meal prep and coaching and all that stuff. So that's why people end up getting the surgeries. But like trans surgery, you have to go through a lot of steps and fail at weight loss several different ways. But then they're incentivized to fail. So it's just like a waiting period where they lie and say that they tried everything first.
Did you say trans surgeries?
Yeah. Don't you have to like go through a period of time where
I'm sorry, I'm thinking like
Transsexual, yeah.
Tran-
I got it.
I'm
That
like,
is
wait,
a-
that's what they
that
call
is
it.
a foreboding
Those are-
word on YouTube.
Reassignment surgery.
Yeah,
I was
gender
like-
reassignment surgery. Like you have to pretend to be that gender for a while or dress as that gender. You have to take the hormones for a while. You don't just get your genitals removed immediately. Like maybe it's changed, but that's the way it used to be. Now I don't follow the laws, and I know that there's a lot of social unrest about this subject, but I don't know what the truth is. I just know what you hear about.
Wait,
Attack on Life said his mom had bariatric surgery and has serious complications from it. Everybody I know that's ever had it has had major problems with it afterwards.
Well,
Which is not surprising. Like it's major surgery and you're taking somebody who at a baseline is extremely metabolically unhealthy.
Mhm.
They have poor metabolic health. They probably have comorbidities galore. And then you're doing a major surgery on them. Like that is
And
a
removing part of a
recipe
vital organ. Like,
yeah, that's
yeah.
complication city. I mean,
yeah, it doesn't
But it
make any
does-
sense.
yeah.
Just lose weight. Why would you get surgery to lose weight when you could just lose weight?
Well, the same reason people take medications to lose weight. I mean,
Mhm. Everybody wants an easier.
no one wants
path.
to do the hard work. Yep.
Yeah.
Why do you
I
take
feel like
Tren,
a lot of
Todd?
people fall.
I don't take Tren.
I do. I work hard and I want the easier way. I do both. All right, what do we got next?
Let's see. Everybody likes talking about SHBG, right? What do you guys recommend taking for extremely high SHBG?
More
Stay
testosterone.
around 100. My total
Gear,
just came back
more
at-
gear, all of it.
Yeah.
He's
Up it.
taking 210 milligrams test, he said.
I've never heard
200.
of anybody with high SHBG. Have you? I've never seen that.
Never. And if you just use boron or proviron. Boron's cheaper than proviron, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't want to take more gear, then go that route. It's a
And
lame
that
route,
also
but
is
go
a
that route.
baby dose of test. I've never heard of someone like usually you go like with that's HRT. If you have a high SHBG, what's the problem? Because your goal isn't accomplishing anything, just you want to have normal testosterone levels, and you
Yeah, people need to
You
understand
want
too. SHBG testosterone isn't like unavailable. Like it's still bioavailable once it detaches from the SHBG molecule. Like it's not going to be attached to the SHBG forever. Like SHBG almost kind of acts like a time release mechanism for testosterone in your body. Like you have a certain amount of like free flowing bioavailable testosterone, and then SHBG will like unbind eventually, like when total androgen levels are getting lower, and it kind of like allows more free testosterone into the system. It's kind of like drip feeding it almost. That's the way I've seen it.
Hold up. How does he have a total of 4,000? Is he talking about nanograms per deciliter of
who the fuck
testosterone?
knows?
He did not.
Yeah,
say-
probably. But I don't know why he's got. Normally with 210 tests, you might be at like 1,200 to 1,500 in the blood.
Yeah, none of
Not
this
even.
makes sense.
Yeah, something's not adding up.
Well,
here. Or
I
did he
mean-
make a typo? Like, yeah.
Like he might be. You mean like he's a 399.3? That's still
Maybe
too
he's-
low.
I don't know.
Maybe he's like-
Maybe he's like 160 pounds. I feel like the smaller guys are, the higher the total test they get from, 200. Because I've seen guys use
Oh.
200, but they're like 150 pounds, and they get a total test of like 2,000, 3,000, something like that. I've seen that.
Yes.
But
All my
nothing like-
HRT people are on 20 milligrams a day, pretty much, and
But
they
that-
all have 1,500 nanograms per deciliter.
That's why I
I
also feel like the bigger you are, like 200
Right,
doesn't do the same for me as it does for
Well,
somebody that's
because it's
150 pounds,
you literally have 50 kilograms more
Yeah.
muscle or something.
Yeah, it's
Right.
diluted a lot more. Yeah.
Well, it's in the muscle. It's not just floating around the blood because it has no muscle to bind to.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys, they don't have enough muscle to support the gear they take. That's why they get side effects.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's all of that overflow, that overspill.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah,
doing
just-
anything.
It's just like carbs. If you don't have any muscle, you can't be eating 1,000 carbs a day.
It spill over and you get fat as fuck.
Yep. I think that's a key point that a lot of people don't understand.
Yeah, more is not better in the context of food, drugs, training, unless if you can actually facilitate that more.
I mean, would you try and go bench press 400 pounds when you're 165 pounds?
If you got a death wish.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing.
You know, someone's
yeah.
going to give you an example of some fucking powerlifter who did it, but that's not your point. Your
Yeah,
point is
exactly.
that you just like food, drugs, and weight have volume, and the volume is
Yeah.
turned up based off of your size.
Yeah. Everyone loves the whole N equals 1 argument. I swear there's always one moron that comes out of the woodworks with the, oh, but this guy did it. Don't give a fuck. What about the other 9,000 people?
Well,
couldn't
that's
do it?
not even N equals 1 because that's about themselves, but it's the outlier argument. It's like they
Yeah,
use an
good point.
outlier to try to force a rule that's been disproven by that outlier being an outlier. The fact that
Yeah,
you know
that's-
his name means that it's not the correct answer.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got next?
Colin?
Let's see. Hagglis wants to know if he should bump his growth hormone up from 5 IUs to 10 IUs a day,
Yeah.
7 weeks out from a show,
Yes.
and how much change can he expect during this time frame?
All the
That's a
change.
huge.
So much
That's
change.
Literally
Huge.
doubling. your-
Yeah. There's,
I would be
you'll
worried about
notice,
water retention.
you'll notice
I'd be worried.
pretty
I'd worried about
You're
your
go-
ankles swelling up.
Yeah, you're going right
Yeah.
from the no possible side effect to the almost guaranteed side effect zone. Because the safe zone is like 4 to 6. Then the
You don't
I'm
wanna stay
starting
in
to
the safe
get
zone.
diabetes supposedly is the 6 to 8. And then the complete waste of money phase is supposedly 8 to 10. So it's like you shot through every phase. Like this would be something to test out in advance, like figure out where your sweet spot is, whether it's 6, 7, 8, somewhere in that zone.
Yeah,
Now,
no,
this is critical because I use 16 before bed, but and a lot of guys on this podcast do.
7 weeks out is no time for experimenting with high doses of growth hormone.
Yeah, that's what
Like he should have done this in his off season or at the very start of contest prep. I'd say if he wants to increase it now, do a slow titration, like half an IU or an extra IU a day, and find your maximum tolerable dose and sit there.
What I would do is
just
probably just save it for post show so you can use it on the rebound because it's going to be way more efficaciously placed there than it would in the prep.
That's a good point too.
All you're getting is fat loss out there right now.
Yeah.
It's just a really expensive fat burner, right?
And additional fullness. Yeah.
I cut mine back. I'm on 9 now. I'm at 9. 9 of
Ooh,
the
that's risky.
pharma.
Is it Serostim though? Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there for a few weeks.
Keep
Yeah.
it at 10, man. Oh my god.
What's a half a bottle's now? It's rough math if he has to do 10.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see.
18.
I was thinking the standardized kit.
It's funny, the 9 of Serostim makes my hands go numb, and then the full bottle of the generics wasn't.
Yeah.
That's
All right,
why I
what do we got
use
next?
16 before bed, is because it's a whole bottle of Metatropin.
We have a rare, serious question from Emperor Sheev. Do you guys track cooking oil in your macros, or do you just use as little as possible and run with it?
I use a spray.
Yeah, I use a spray, and I usually use a bit of paper towel to wipe it down after I use the spray.
I don't do the shh bullshit either. I'm like shh like that.
Yeah,
Like-
because that's a real serve. People think it's like because it's a spray, they can just spray however the fuck much they want. But,
I got a trick.
but then they're
people.
using like 10 servings, and it's like all of a sudden it's not 9 calories. You're using fucking 90 to 100 calories. So yeah,
I got a trick for people. Go spend $50 or $60 and get a really nice non-stick pan, and then you don't have to use any oil.
That's what I was going to say. It's like it's 2024. You don't need fucking oil. Like you really don't.
Yeah.
You can get a nice stainless steel pan too, and learn how to use that. You don't need to get nonstick if you don't want
Beautiful.
to.
And then you have no arsenic or any of the nasty
Right. If
shit
you're
either.
concerned about stuff like that. That being said, I do know how to use a stainless steel pan. I'm just lazy, and so I have a non-stick.
Talking about the
I have ruined so many stainless steel pans because I don't let it heat up enough.
Yeah, you do need to be a little patient with them, but
I've fucked up so many.
Once they
meals
come
with
up to
this.
temperature, they are non-stick. Like that's
That's
why chefs use those.
Yeah.
The arsenic thing cracks me up because I get these dudes that'll freak out because I put like 5 almonds with my meal, and they're like, bro, the arsenic in there is gonna kill you, and I'm like, dude, you're
injecting shit somebody made in their bathtub.
Yeah, I mean, you're not worried about that Tren that you bought from some dude named Roids for You on the internet.
It's probably a nice bathtub.
It's the same thing with the seed oil.
It's a stainless steel bathtub.
I'm not taking offense.
My best performing post on Instagram over the last month was the post I put up. The same bros that are worried about seed oils or injecting them in their gear.
Yeah,
I made so many heads explode with that one. Like guys never even thought about that.
Safflower oil. Grapes.
They're not. They never even thought about that, and then like so many guys were so upset. I love poking at people once in a while.
Oh fuck, that's funny.
The other thing with the oils and cooking with the oils is like isn't it like, speaking of shit, but doesn't it cause some problems when you burn them too?
Yes.
Yeah, so there's only certain oils you want to cook with, ones that have a real high smoke point. And again, I mean, you don't want to cook with things like so things like avocado oil, a good macadamia oil.
Coconut
but
oil
I
is
would-
okay.
That's what I use, not
Yeah.
not olive oil. I repeat, not
Yeah.
olive oil.
Not olive
Olive
oil.
oil is just a bougie topping. It's not
Yeah.
good for cooking.
Rice bran oil's got a very high smoke point. But yeah, olive oil is shit. I wouldn't cook with that.
I add it afterwards. I don't put it in when I'm cooking.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
I keep my
topping.
olive oil in the fridge, and it stays there until I put it on my food. That's quite literally
Mm.
only
Yeah.
application.
Yeah,
I
I
use
don't-
butter. I'll be honest. I use butter when I need to, but I do what Todd does, and I wipe the pan down a little bit. I don't really mind the butter, anyways. I think.
I don't like that's Nick who wipes the
Oh,
pan
that's
down.
what I
yeah,
do.
sorry.
Yeah.
I don't. I use. I buy the spray shit, and then I just
Mm.
do it quickly.
Yeah, I'll use like Pam or
Yeah.
something like that once in a while. But
And I do that mostly because, like, if I air fry the chicken without the oil, it's just as dry as fuck. But the oil,
Yeah,
seems
it
to
doesn't get that
trap the
crispiness.
moisture into it, and so it's not as nasty. And so, since all I eat is chicken, I'd get sick of it really fucking quick if I hated it, and it was just like
Yeah.
wood chips.
I'm
Like
able
most
to,
people overcook their chicken like a motherfucker. I don't
Todd,
understand why
you
people
should
like
try
well
it.
done.
Try this. Get a crock pot pressure cooker and just throw chicken breast in there with a bit of like chicken broth. It's fucking good.
Yeah, I know it is
Yeah,
good. But like,
Easy
I've
to
got
eat,
this. I've got the air fryer down to a system where if I do it just right, it comes up like medium well, and then as
Oh,
it
okay.
sits on the plate, it finishes cooking, and it becomes
good.
just barely well. So it's still juicy, but it's tender on the inside. Like if you go to Popeyes, their chicken isn't like dry and nasty. It
Yeah.
actually tastes good, even without the fact that it's covered in breading. But
Yeah.
I
I
use
think
the sous vide once in a while. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
my
Yeah.
brother
That's
used
good.
to work at a Popeyes, and he said the reason their chicken is so good is because they brine it before they cook it.
Brine it. Mm.
Brine it, yeah.
Interesting.
So you gotta brine your chicken if you want it to be juicy.
you have to let it sit in water with salt. Is that what brining is?
Pickle juice,
Mhm.
Mm.
buttermilk,
Oh.
yogurt.
There's this guy on here who keeps talking about himself in third person, the big Mike Russo. What the fuck is that?
He's, he's new. I haven't seen him before, but he's got an
Yeah.
interesting style. He's got quite a story to tell. If you've been following
Well,
what
he's
he's been
No,
writing.
What's he been,
The
what's he
confidence
been
of
writing?
10,000 men.
Oh, let's
Well, welcome to the clan, Mike.
I might bounce, guys. I'm gonna get to bed if that's all good.
Yeah,
Alright,
I need
no,
to wrap
not.
up anyway.
It's not good.
It's-
Don't do it.
I've got
I'll talk to you later, guys.
Take
All
it
right,
easy.
let's
Mind your stubby.
nice stubby. Look out for bin chickens.
Yeah. Keep your eyes
All right,
peeled for
folks.
bin chickens.
I guess on that note, we'll wrap this one up. Thank you for watching.